go-around at Gen G in the grand finals. And Daniel, new kid on the block, I guess not new anymore. I think he's the grizzled vet, and he's looking like the best player on Space Station. Can he get Space Station to their first grand final of the fall split?
You know, I've got to agree with you that all eyes are going to be on the baby goat Daniel in this matchup. But for FaZe Clan, they're looking to put a nice little bookend on the fall split, winning the first and third. It'd be pretty incredible if they could do so, but they have a very stout team in front of them in Space Station Gaming, and they've been finding their rhythm as of lately, and we saw that when they did play in that round, you know, best of 2-0 matchup where it went to a Game 5 overtime, and Space Station came out victorious. So FaZe Clan gonna be looking for a little redemption here.
And currently, it's Typical, who hit a couple of wonderful shots over this past weekend. Being denied, Arsenal almost gets the dunk, missed, kind of puts his team in a tough spot. LJ realizes FaZe has recovered. Typical with first killer moving upfield. LJ to the side. Daniel gives up the corner boost just to start the counterattack a little bit faster. We'll see if Space Station have anything here. Going for the bumps, and Typical still makes the stop.
How is it that Daniel always finds so much open space? Just seems like he always has a ton of room to breathe. And great save there from LJ. Tough read above his head. The camera's always flying around. Tough to read that ball as Daniel space off the backboard. Pass to himself. Didn't think it was going to be wide open. And Mist holding down the back line. And Mist has been such an improvement for FaZe Clan, at least on the defensive half. He is just so stingy back there on that back line.
Daniel was locked in on where Mist was too. He was the one he was trying to beat. And Mist just patiently waited on that backboard, came up with another stop to stop Space Station from getting in good on the offensive side. Typical applying pressure. Daniel catches it with the wheels, which means he can actually head back to net and try and make a stop, but FaZe pushing hard, and
big miss.
The big miss means FaZe gets another look at things here. You need a strong clear right here, and LJ just gets a hand up. Missed with a double tap to prevent Space Station from moving out too quickly. The demo will help as well. Strong shot denied by first killer.
That's one thing that's kind of always plagued Daniel a little bit is his backboard defense. We've seen him have a couple air balls off that. Fake coming out from Typical, leaves it for first killer, and Daniel gonna clean this one up for Space Station. Halfway through game number one, still all knotted up. Seems to be even as far as offense goes, but for FaZe Clan, being the statistically best offense in all of North America, gotta credit Space Station a little bit here at denying a lot of the shots that they've put on target.
Yeah, doing a really nice job not letting FaZe build that pressure consistently. Looking for first killer, Mist and Typical to really start to bite down hard in the midfield, prevent some of these clears. LJ catches one a little too heavy. Means that they can actually really press out of the midfield line now. This could be FaZe's opportunity to try and build some pressure, especially with the missed double tap. Typical gets another look at it, tries to feed himself, and unfortunately just gets away from him. LJ with a punt clear, first killer returning fire. There's Daniel to meet him at the midfield line.
Things have slowed up so far in the second half of this game number one. Battle for midfield ongoing, but missed a little bit of space. Gets it over Daniel, shot coming, but LJ denies and pushes the one back towards midfield. And here comes Arsenal, slowing things down off the side wall. That boost spawned at the worst time, and first killer gonna steal that one away. Here comes Mist, big demo with the half, and numbers advantage really quick for FaZe, but Daniel, great defense.
FaZe trying their best, getting in Arsenal's face, and he's just able to take that to the corner. Typical, seeing if Daniel wants to go first. No, after you, my friend, I insist. And it will be Daniel who ends up winning all the challenges. Missed to re-popped it towards the net. Here comes first killer to take it away. Misses the double tap, fist to LJ.
Nice,
and that's another save for LJ. 3 now. Only 2 on the docket, but that's the third big stop in front of the net to prevent FaZe from getting out in front.
All 3 members of Space Station, 2 saves up on the board, doing a great job at denying every single shot that's been thrown in their way, and big challenge there for Daniel as it looked like Typical had an opportunity at a 1v1, and Mist gonna bomb this one downfield. Typical's up, but Arsenal up a little too early. First killer puts a shot on target, couldn't find the upper 90, but seems like FaZe Clan starting to inch closer to blue territory.
Daniel making sure he's speedy on net. Arsenal one-on-one, and unfortunately first killer has a much easier play. Daniel doesn't get a hold of it. The bigger problem is LJ not getting the challenge there against Typical, puts Arsenal in a jam. First Killer has the angles all closed down. FaZe with a 24-second lead.
Great patience there from First Killer. Waiting on that ball to go right in front of Arsenal so we could 50 that into the back of the net. 20 seconds remain here in game number 1. Spacestation need to get to work, but they've got to go the full length of the field. It's going to be tough when Typical's challenging balls early like that. And Daniel, again, so much free space. Push that one over, but LJ nowhere to be found. 5 seconds to go. Spacestation need the game-tying goal. Aren't going to find it. And this ball going to hit the ground, and FaZe Clan take game number 1.
Yeah, Spacestation going to be a little bit frustrated there. They felt like, I think, the execution kind of dropped off when it came to those last few seconds. The passes not quite where they needed to be. The challenges not quite lined up how they should have been. Unfortunately, I got what I wanted. I said I was expecting FaZe to kind of bite down a little bit harder. Then they really started pushing Spacestation back and back. And while it never really resulted in pressure that Spacestation couldn't handle, FaZe definitely driving the latter half of pace of play in that game.
Absolutely, and it really felt like Spacestation didn't have any opportunities on the offensive side. We didn't see too many plays developing. We didn't see any passing plays, more primarily. But for Spacestation, you got to be impressed with the defense that they put out in game number 1. But ultimately, FaZe Clan, just too much to handle there, especially in the waning moments of game number 1.
Yeah, so you're looking here for Spacestation in game 2. Not a lot of physicality from either side in game 1, really. But you are hoping that Spacestation is able to at least equalize, kind of fight for the ball in the middle of the pitch, if not, obviously, on the FaZe half. So, wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe go for the long clears if they've got good control of their corner boosts. See if they can just go fight one-on-one for the ball in the air. Not sure if they would win that battle per se, but it may be something they're a little bit more comfortable with, because it doesn't quite feel like the control of the ball is there to really make sure you find your way past those FaZe defenders.
I agree, and again, numbers advantage here for Spacestation. LJ trying to beat out First Killer to that touch. Nice little pre-flip to catch up to this ball, but missed just too quick, and more importantly, the positioning much better. And here comes Daniel trying to get some offense going for Spacestation. This is going to be a good ball, but Arsenal too far from the place. Typical fires on target a little too high, and it goes off the crossbar. And FaZe Clan once again pressuring in the blue half.
A lot of space to work with. Typical just chucks one up for First Killer. That's the prayer, because you've got the space for it, and if it gets back the other way, you know you've got 2 people there, so who knows. Daniel forced to go out sideways, really cuts one across the pitch, kind of misses the second chain dash, which slows down the counterattack, and Arsenal is just going to try and drop this for his teammate, but LJ is just a little too hesitant. Actually got the flip reset and missed, was able to stick right with it. Throws him off the ball, but he recovers beautifully, and Daniel stays locked in on that approach.
One thing that Spacestation fans should keep their eye on are the double commits that we've seen. We've seen Arsenal and Daniel get tied up midair, and Typical steals that ball away. Nice interception in the blue half, but LJ there just as added security, going to push this one downfield. And you see LJ head hunting, but FaZe Clan so aware, heads on a swivel.
There you go.
Just constantly staying out of the path of the aggression from Spacestation.
Spacestation trying to take a little bit of extra time, but they end up taking too much. Unclear comms between Daniel and LJ there about who needs to go for the ball, so that means FaZe surge forward here, pressing into that Spacestation half, and that's kind of what we're talking about with the command right there from LJ. He tries to start on the L dribble, but did you see how far the ball just got away from him? And so he's kind of forced into a single trajectory. Not a lot of options there as that one ricochets off the backboard. Typical wishing he had that one back. It wasn't free by any stretch, but it was definitely available to score.
Definitely doable, and definitely a mistake from Spacestation that they've got to keep their eye on. We've seen a few from them so far. As First Killer going to clean this one up, go back towards midfield, right over Arsenal, but LJ playing a little spread out. And again, one half of Rocket League has gone away, and we're all knotted up. These teams so close to one another in terms of skill. This ball all the way downfield, and Arsenal spawns on the right side of the ball, and it's right off of them. Worst case scenario turns into best case on that one, and Daniel again, tons of free space. Flip reset past LJ. LJ can't find the double tap, but Arsenal's there, and weak shot push towards First Killer.
This wasn't really geared up to really take a strong shot. This one's gonna bounce around, and Typical can't squeeze it in between the post and the defender. It was a difficult shot, not even sure if it was actually possible, but FaZe's gonna have to reset one more time. As missed here, trying to find all the space he can as he pushes forward. Unfortunately, will lose possession. But FaZe starting to get a stronger grip as time has gone on, forcing Spacestation off the ball. First killer, where do you go with it? Straight to the wall to buy time for your teammates to move forward is the answer. LJ trapping it on a dribble, doing an excellent job moving forward. Can he get around Typical? And they cut out the hard pass into the middle.
Spacestation still searching for some more shots in this game. So far, 2 shots in game number 2. You look over at FaZe Clan, 7 in this one, but Spacestation done a brilliant job so far on defense. Arsenal puts a shot, trying to go close post and in, but the defender's well read as we're nearing 60 seconds to go here in game number 2, and here comes a shot from Arsenal. Plenty of time, the book comes out, and first killer can't jump up to get it, and Spacestation take the lead.
You have to score that one. LJ, what a job in the midfield. Wins one challenge, dodges the bump, wins the second challenge towards his teammate. Not too hard, not too soft. Gets the bump on the net. LJ doing a lot of heavy lifting there to give a great look to Arsenal, but a late lead for Spacestation here. FaZe, now you have to shove, and now the demos come online to slow down FaZe, as that's a pretty solid clear, actually. He catches 2 of Spacestation in the corner. Mist just has to get through everyone, and Daniel shuts it down.
38 seconds remain here. Great touch there from Arsenal. LJ just trying to slow things down, realizing number 1 enemy of FaZe Clan right now is the game clock. Under 30 seconds to go. And Spacestation Gaming put the pedal to the metal. LJ, great positioning on that one. Gonna read that from midfield, goes up to the ceiling, can't quite find it. And Daniel forced in a 3v1 situation. Arsenal gonna rotate back, and 10 seconds to go. FaZe Clan need 1.
Whoa, what a lift from Typical. Leave it for Mist. It's miscommed. First killer trying to pull off. Mist didn't think it was possible. He thought he was still gonna touch it, so they waste the chance to try and rip one on target. Mist still finds a floater forward. LJ's gonna try and drop it straight down. Mist going over Typical's head to line up first killer. Daniel's gonna throw it straight to the floor. Spacestation equalized the series. A tight game 2 in general, just as game 1 was, but much better looking for Spacestation, if only in the score department. Still felt like FaZe had a pretty solid hold over it for a while. It just took one big play from LJ to get it done.
Wow, look at the demos. 5 in favor of FaZe Clan to the 1 of Spacestation. The aggression coming out from FaZe Clan, but ultimately Spacestation getting the last laugh, and 2 games in, only 2 goals allowed. It is an absolute defensive masterclass from both sides, but ultimately it's really boiling down to a battle over midfield right now. Both teams trying to get control of not only that, but the midfield boost and really trying to get their offense going, but neither team really able to put too much residency in their opponent's half.
Yeah, I am feeling like FaZe has a little bit better command when it comes to pushing forward, even if they don't necessarily have the follow-ups ready to go by proxy of Spacestation's defense and how they're moving the ball around on their own half. But do feel like the mechanics are a little bit more dialed in on the FaZe side. Ultimately, though,
he left it.
Just missed it. It's okay. It didn't really matter. Daniel had a freebie here. Kind of wonder what happened to FaZe for how that happens. Mist is on the other side. First killers missed the challenge, and Typical, unlucky trying to buy time, just gets punted straight off the sidewall. That's how it all goes wrong.
I think Arsenal, if he does touch that, it ruins the entire play. I think he realized that. He tries to pull off of that ball and leave it for Daniel or LJ to clean up. His first killer is typical, and what a save on the goal line from LJ, coming out of nowhere and keeping things on nil for FaZe Clan.
Oh, I mean, when FaZe moves the ball like that, it's money. What a stop from LJ, picked the spot, nailed it, and unfortunately not able to add a second goal. Daniel gets it put over his head. He lifts it towards his net, and he will be denied. He may get the demo, but it will cost him precious speed.
Oh no, gets bumped at midfield, tries to catch up, inadvertently gets the touch, and that demo sends him away. Good heads-up play from Mist to just get in the line of the path there. And Typical credited with the goal on that one, and just like that, FaZe Clan bring us back tied.
Well, for all your good work, LJ, unfortunately, you're still tied, as Arsenal trying to find a way through 3 FaZe defenders. First killer to the corner, LJ to the wall, and immediately turned to scrap metal. FaZe is going to find a small line out of their own half, even if they don't necessarily have the cleanest possession. The boost steal will help prevent Spacestation from having that strong of a push. Of course, as you say that, Arsenal wins a big challenge and just goes straight towards the goal line to slow down that FaZe support.
Yeah, the only player on Space Station was 0 boost, and he somehow manages to get a wave dash into that ball and win the 50-50 with no questions as LJ cuts off Typical, bombs this one downfield. Man advantage here for Space Station Gaming. LJ can't quite get the touch, and good challenge there from Mist, but Arsenal, again, too strong on these challenges. Seems like he is winning every single one that he comes in contact with, and plenty of time for Mist here. Daniel going to try and meet him in midair. Does so. This one going to waterfall down, and Arsenal well read.
Does feel like Arsenal's challenge game definitely coming a little bit more online as the series has gone on. At first, he was getting the ball get put by him a few times, and now he's really starting to get the nose on it. He'll let his teammate challenge here and size up Mist's approach one-on-one. Lets him show his hand, throws it off the ceiling. Daniel uncontested out of his own half. And FaZe camped out nicely here. Another tough call for Arsenal to make, and he will cover perfectly.
Wow, great ball control on that play. Not allowing that one to go to the top of the box, just keeping it right in front of him. Recognizing exactly where every member of FaZe Clan was and keeping that ball away from all three of them.
Got it.
Speaking of Arsenal, off the ceiling, can't quite find it. And LJ, big miss there. Gonna have to slow this one down, and Mist sent up and down the side wall, not knowing where that one's going. And here comes Arsenal again off the ceiling, wins that challenge, but missed there to clean things up.
Ooh, and he's going to lose out on the midfield boost as well. He may get caught with not a lot on his own side here, has to cover up, actually moves up with LJ at the same time, who I thought was really going to get challenged, but ultimately nothing too disastrous for Space Station in a situation that could have got dicey quite quickly, as the hard punt towards the SSG back wall means the deadlock will continue for at least another few seconds as Space Station and FaZe both going for the big, as Stax likes to say, dump and chase, and nobody really coming down with it cleanly.
Great opportunity here for Space Station, though. Minute and 40 to go here in game number 3. Extremely important here for either team. Want to definitely win games, that's a given. But when it has been so close like this, you got to play picture-perfect Rocket League. Any little mistake is going to be immediately just gobbled up and capitalized upon from your opponent.
It does feel these games when you tend to get these deadlocks like this where no one can really find any gaps. It's either the massive outplay, like when you had the LJ, get through all 3 players and make it as easy as possible, like that's the goal that gets scored, or you see someone just miss an easy touch and that gives it away for free or puts you in such a tough defensive position you can't make the stop. And rarely is it oh, look, we have a strong counterattack and the net's open or something like that. Everyone's just too locked into the rotation for that to happen.
And 40 seconds remain here in game number 3. Will we have our first overtime of the series? Not if Mist has anything to say about it. Tucks it under the crossbar, puts FaZe up.
Oh, look at this pass from Typical. Gets all the way in front of the ball to kick it back towards the top of the box, off of a play that is traditionally headed into the corner or towards the backboard, and Mist sinks an absolute money shot top of the net.
Not going to waste that opportunity. As we have seen, few and far between in this series. LJ pre-jumps that, but Mist gets it right around him. Here comes Typical. Beat out by Daniel. 20 seconds to go. Great pass out of the corner from Arsenal, but Daniel a little too behind that ball as it goes into the opposite corner. And 10 seconds remain. Arsenal slowing this one down. Does he have the ability to get it forward? No. LJ gonna push this one up. Air dribbles available. Can't quite get there. Mist gonna kill it. And he's alive. Up the side wall. Arsenal off the ceiling. This is an awkward play. Space Station Gaming have to pull out all the tricks from their bag that is available as LJ puts it up, and Typical's gonna say, bye-bye. See you later. FaZe Clan, game 3.
Everyone expecting that challenge at 0 seconds to go a little bit differently. Unfortunately, the only ones waiting there for it were FaZe Clan. Space Station trying to find a little bit of an extra gear there when they needed to score with about 10-15 seconds left. You start to see people really trying to get out in front of some of those clear lanes with big pre-jumps towards the ball. Fortunately for them, FaZe too solid defensively. It starts off with a nice, easy open net, but
Oh,
LJ,
incredible.
that save was absolutely amazing.
Was incredible. I mean, not only the fact that he just read where it was going as far as left and right, but the fact that he read that it was going to be a hard shot on the ground, didn't jump. You see a lot of players try and pre-jump those to try and take the right angle, but he read that in less than half a second, and that was something of beauty. But even with all that said, Spacestation still find themselves in a one-game hole. We are in a best-of-7 series, so they still have one more life to give up, essentially. You see, they don't elect to take a timeout. Don't want to use that until they're down 2 games.
Yeah, I don't really think there's a need for either team to make a timeout. I mean, this one's been pretty much straight up. You're not getting blown out of the water on any particular side of things. This is really just the give as good as you get. And unfortunately, FaZe come out the better 2 times instead of the 1 for Space Station, as physicality, I think, also has been slightly favoring FaZe.
I agree.
Granted, I'm not sure how much that physicality has really netted strong offensive chances.
Oh, baby. Oh, what defense from Typical. Just hanging in midair, and LJ, top of the box, denied by Mist, and great defense from both sides of the pitch. We've seen a great stop from FaZe, great stop from SSG. Just all around, this has just been a great series for Rocket League in general. Just great individual plays. We've seen some passing plays, and it's just been a chess match up and down the field.
Oh, what a pass! Oh, oh, T-Shock. Why you gotta do it to him? Around Typical. Oh, how do you get the nose around the back of the ball? That's like saying, yeah, Typical, I saw what you did last game. Let me show you how to do it, but make it look really, really cool and even harder to do.
Oh, wow. Give him the style points on that one. A bicycle kick pass to get around the defense. Yeah, Typical baits out the defender, pulls him out of the box, and just dishes it to first killer.
Yeah, it's Typical. Yeah, no one cares that you made the really nice pass play. The vanilla stuff still works too. Get in front of the ball, dish it out middle. That'll beat the defender most times, and they tie it up immediately.
I love the back and forth. I love the passing plays. Seems like both teams at times are saying anything you can do, I can do better, as Typical trying to beat the entire SSG defense. Not going to do that, but Mist trying to pass that one midfield. No one there. His first killer all the way back, but right place, right time. 3v1. Daniel left alone on an island, and he pushes that one forward, and Arsenal going to keep things alive for Space Station.
Take care of this. Oh, yeah. Great bump from Mist. I mean, LJ knew that time was of the essence there, and you couldn't just afford to slam the ball upfield. His teammates weren't going to be ready, and Mist really trying to get in his face and make it as difficult as possible to maintain possession. That's really what FaZe's game is. It's make it hard for Space Station to stay on offense by any means necessary, and they're executing on that particular game plan. As Typical 1-on-2 towards the net, both people get up in his face. And Daniel will find a clear, courtesy of accidental touch, as first killer times it perfectly to go across the zone.
Oh, Arsenal, again, eating up these 50-50s is an awkward ball. Top of the box, Mist is going to push this one forward. Finds Typical, 1-2-1 combo to get out of their own half. And first killer beat out by LJ. And here we go, Space Station numbers again.
Oh,
but Daniel just bombs that one forward, and you got to question the thought process on that one. Had 2 teammates available, only 1 defender, and just kind of pushes it right into that said defender.
Yeah, that does look to me like it's that split second where you realize you have so many options, and the one you end up picking because your primate brain says, yeah, just go straight to the defense, and you just go, geez, that was awful. Why did I do that? And you just know you mistouched the ball.
No net hit ball.
Yeah, it was literally, oh, I have teammate here, I have teammate here. Maybe I go for the backboard and I've hit it straight at the guy. Okay, cool. So that's unlucky.
Yeah, not many opportunities like that are going to be given for FaZe Clan. While they are extremely aggressive, we rarely see them overcommit and force their teammate to be left alone back on defense, as Daniel going to push this one forward. Typical going to pass to first killer right around Arsenal, and LJ denies one shot, but missed there for the cleanup, and communication breakdown on the back line for Space Station.
Gotta wonder if Daniel even knew Mist was here, considering he didn't jump at this one. I think it surprised him. He definitely could have. unlucky, especially after LJ did such a good job of managing the timing of his challenge to stop First Killer from dunking it straight through, but Space Station again gonna have to play from behind as that one takes an awkward bounce and makes it tough to handle for Arsenal. As FaZe one more time towards the net, big bump to make it easy for Daniel. One-on-one through the midfield line. He's past missed. He's not quite through Typical. And FaZe's slim lead will remain.
And big bumps and demos coming from Space Station, but nothing comes from it as Arsenal gets around one, gets that flip reset as well, but couldn't put anything behind the ball with it. As First Killer is going to make Space Station again go the full length of the field, and Typical. Great challenge here, but better positioning.
Yeah, it was really positioned perfectly to just pick this one off. Arsenal knew it was behind him, and I think Daniel was getting ready for an Arsenal touch. Maybe going forward. Maybe he saw Typical and maybe was thinking maybe towards the corner. Either way, caught pushing forward, and the lead extends to 2. And with how much goals have come at a premium as this series is, 2 goals in a minute, as often as it's doable, it doesn't feel like Space Station have the firepower behind him to crack that FaZe defense with this much time left.
And if this scoreline holds, which hold the phone, it just might not, and it will not, because First Killer is doing First Killer things. 6th shot of the game, and 2nd goal credited to First Killer.
Ooh, that's the one that finally slips around you. It was an awkward play for Arsenal to make, couldn't quite handle it. First Killer was really just wondering, do I get a look or not? And FaZe have finally entered garbage time. This one tight, you know, for 4 minutes and 4 minutes 15 seconds, and then boom, right out of contention for Space Station. 2 quick goals set them down. That means FaZe gonna be on match point. Space Station, I was thinking maybe that they would be able to finally work their way into a grand final here, but FaZe, that defense has really done such an excellent job stopping all of the pushes forward that Space Station has thrown at people. Awkward clear for them. And 0 seconds left. First Killer has not an open net because he can't actually get back down to it, but 3-1 FaZe on the road, as you said, Subi, to bookend the fall major with another grand final appearance.
Yeah, and not unfamiliar territory for Space Station, as Coach Chrome going to call a timeout for his team, talk things over. As they are down 3-1 in the series, they're going to have to pull out 3 wins consecutively. Tough task against FaZe Clan. But they did find themselves in a Game 5 when they played earlier this weekend against FaZe Clan. They were able to get that match win on Champions Field, but the big question is, can they get to said Champions Field?
And I think for me, it's all about moving the ball around, because it does feel, I think for both teams, you know, very one-dimensional. It's like, okay, we're all so ready to try and start the counterattack quick. We want to push up fast. We want to go hard, and that kind of, I think, has led to a little bit of a lazy clear game for both teams, where it's just like, okay, smash and go. And FaZe are just able to be a little bit more consistent on their approaches than Space Station have been. And that's kind of led to these general slim margins of victory, where the obvious exception being that previous game where it just slipped out of hand late. But in general, it's just FaZe executing at, you know, it's not much better. It's like maybe 10 to 15% better. And that's really where Space Station's struggling in terms of just moving the ball around the pitch, finding each other, not even necessarily needing more physicality. I mean, the defense has been okay. It's really just been, how do you want to move the ball down the pitch?
And for Space Station, in this series, only 3 goals so far. And when you look over at FaZe Clan, 7. And obviously that was a big one in game number 4. 4 in that one. But for Space Station Gaming, they've got to do something to be able to open up their offense, because we saw that brilliant passing play from Arsenal. But you're not going to always be able to rely on those highly mechanical plays to kind of break down the defense of FaZe Clan. You've also got to, like you said, have the vanilla offense. Go with just a traditional infield pass. Go with traditional passing plays out of the corner. Keep things simple, but also, you know, you got to keep them interesting. And we know they can do the interesting. It's Space Station Gaming. Well, let's see the simpleness come out of this kickoff as we get into game number 5.
And if they want to go for a little bit more of a simpler approach, I mean, they're going to have to start taking a little bit more time as they push the ball up the pitch.
Yes.
You can't just go with the rip it downfield or try and force every single air dribble. You're going to have to bring it down onto the floor, go for a dribble in the middle of the pitch, see if you can find a way through that first challenge and go from there. But nobody jumps, and Typical is just like, I guess it's free.
I mean, this is just bot play right here from Spacestation. Oh, I didn't see that. I take back my comment. No one jumped because nobody could jump. When you get the self bumps, it's gonna harm you, as Spacestation Gaming find themselves down early here in a very important match. FaZe Clan sitting pretty. Another grand finals on the horizon.
Tough one to allow at the start of match point. Daniel obviously not jumping because his teammates say they have it. And they just throw off each other's approach with, I think it was Arsenal landing on LJ. Could have been the other way around. I'm not certain. Regardless.
Oh, you're kidding.
Gives you the handicap the wrong way, as Mist really trying to put a pretty one towards net, but wow. Too much defense lined up against it for that to work.
Well, then here comes Arsenal, and follow-up just a little too slow for Spacestation, playing very spread out. Too much respect shown to FaZe Clan, and I don't blame them. They've got some incredible players on that side of the pitch, but when you're down one this early, you got to think, when are you going to start to get aggressive?
Like, I don't understand why LJ, like, he trapped the ball and started a dribble and then just instantly power flicked the ball away downfield and just punted away possession. It's like, the guy was facing backwards. If he was going to turn on you, you would have had the time, and that's really what I'm talking about, where Space Station need to take that extra second, figure out how they want to move the ball up the field, because they're just throwing the ball right back to FaZe, and it's allowing them to push the ball right back with sometimes even more danger.
I agree. They've got to have better field awareness as Arsenal tries to bait out Mist. Not going to happen. And Achieves likes what he sees. It just boils down to trying to pull out defenders, not just always hit that ball with full force.
It's like the idea is sound. Yeah, like Arsenal lost the ball, but at the same time, it's not like he allowed this dangerous counterattack. It forced Mist to put the ball straight off his own sidewall, and Space Station had time to get ready. So at least you're throwing some type of different look at FaZe and making them do something else, because this whole punt the ball upfield, like, why are we hitting this? Where are you going to go with it now? Sure, you hit a flip reset, but look, there's 3 people in the net. Like, what's going to happen? Nothing.
Well, you've earned no respect, right? So FaZe Clan aren't going to pull out a net, and I love that play, but who is it? None other than Mist on the goal line. He has just been the backbone of defense for FaZe Clan. And 2 minutes, 10 seconds to go here in game number 5. And FaZe Clan in the driver's seat right now. LJ lets that one get away from him, and it's the initial touches, that we've seen from LJ that have really just hurt Space Station a ton. As first killer puts out no one going.
Oh, he got
it again. Almost had a miscommunication breakdown.
Very fortunate he did not get demoed right there. FaZe instead bumping LJ into the perfect spot to find the clear, keeping the lead at 1. Daniel, no support behind him in the midfield. Arsenal concedes the midfield boost because they need the structure. They know they can't afford to concede 2. So as the time ticks further and further down, you either get more risk averse until you hit about 30 seconds or so, and then you go with reckless abandon, or do you do it right now and just see what happens?
Well, you got to defend first, and 2 pull out from Space Station Gaming. His first killer rotates right back in to keep the pressure up for FaZe Clan. And if you're asking me, Achieves, I say go with full reckless abandon. Throw everything that you
can. What Space Station does best.
I agree. I mean, when it's chaos, normally you see Space Station on the winning side of things.
Oh, he missed. LJ, he was in a good position playing support, but he didn't get a handle on the ball, and first killer nails the counterattack.
Oh, and I saw him get this ball on his hood. I knew it was game over, and typical running point doesn't even matter. And Arsenal might even give him a little hand with the bump underneath, but either way, first killer dismantling the Space Station defense, and Space Station have to pull out all stops here.
You can't even really be too mad at Spacestation. The idea is obviously to have Arsenal, go for a dribble in the corner, see what they can make happen. LJ is happy to play tight support, but when you play tight support and you miss, that's the type of counterattack you allow. The 2-on-1, the 1-on-1, with some type of air dribble coming your way, it's not easy to defend, and Spacestation crack under the pressure and very likely find themselves another Exeter in the semifinals. Unless this one finds the back of the net. Of course not. Who else? Nick Costello's there once again. Why did we get him? FaZe needed a little defense, and he will keep him with a clean sheet here to close it out, as First Killer will put an exclamation point on Game 5.
First Killer and Typical, yet again, working in tandem to push their team onward to the grand finals. And Gen G has been waiting patiently. And again, semifinals. We expected a couple Game 7s. This is the only one to get us out of Game 4. And FaZe Clan and Gen G have a date with destiny. Gen G gonna be looking to get some retribution.
Super clean show from FaZe. It's not like they had to pull out all the stops to break down the Spacestation defense. It was really just, let's keep going at it, see what we can get. In general, had more opportunities. Roldiz and co. find themselves with another grand finals appearance all the way back to the Fall Open, where they defeated Gen G in, what was it? I think also 5 games, if memory serves.
Well, don't let memory serve, because I'll just look it up, and it was 5 games.
Oh, good.
Look at you. Good job. As we
Brain.
get a look at the replays, and it's going to be FaZe Clan heavy, as it was a 3-0 stomping in game number 5. And you can tell just the way First Killer, had that little smirk on his face. All confidence going into these grand finals.
You'd hope so. They definitely deserve to have the confidence. It was a calm, cool, collected show against a team that can bring a lot of fire in Spacestation, so they got to be feeling good about their chances, knowing that they've already beat Gen G before. And so when we come back, we'll have our final match of the fall split before the major. It'll be Gen G and FaZe Clan. Stick around.